Welcome back. We're at the end of spooky season, but ghosts and hauntings happen year-round, and this week we're based on a true story with the real-life paranormal investigators who continue to entertain and terrify us, Ed and Lorraine Warren, with this week's episode, The Conjuring. Grab your sage, things are about to get spooky. The Conjuring, directed by James Wan, kicked off an entire horror universe, giving us Annabelle, the Nun, and more jump scares than most hearts could handle. But before all of that, The Conjuring introduced us to the Warrens, played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and their investigation into the Perron family haunting in 1971. In the movie, the family moves into a Rhode Island farmhouse only to find themselves terrorized by dark forces. Real-life Carolyn Perron has maintained the hauntings were real, with clocks stopping at 3:07 every morning, strange smells, and invisible forces tugging at their bed sheets. But who were the Warrens? Really? Ed and Lorraine Warren were a real husband and wife team of paranormal investigators, kind of like the Ghostbusters, but with better hair, in my opinion. Vera wore some amazing updos, in my opinion. Ed was a self-taught demonologist, and this makes sense because last I checked, I don't think there are any universities that offer demonology as a minor, or let alone a major. And Ed was one of the few laymen recognized by the Catholic Church at the time as a demonologist. Lorraine claimed to be a clairvoyant and medium who could sense and sometimes even communicate with spirits. And together they founded the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952, the oldest ghost hunting group in the US. And to that end, the Warrens investigated over 10,000 cases during their career. But I'm still curious how they made their money. I mean, I understand they wrote books and they went on tours and spoke and they would make money from that. But would they charge the family for their services? I mean, what does an hourly rate look like for that kind of service? Or is it that they saw these cases as kind of a lost leader, didn't charge the family, but then used those cases again to write the books, to tour, to speak, and that's how they made their money? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But however they made their money, from haunted houses to possessed dolls, the Warrens saw it all. And yes, that includes the real Annabelle doll that was actually a Raggedy Ann doll. Still scary, in my opinion. Not nearly as creepy as the movie version, but terrifying when it begins moving on its own. For my money, most dolls are scary. I just don't like them. But for those like me who are chronically on TikTok, you may remember that recently Annabelle was taken on a cross-country tour that had some disaster following her. In Louisiana, an historic plantation burned to the ground, and later in New Orleans, 10 prisoners escaped from a jail. Here in Texas, Annabelle was spotted at a Buc-ee's. And yeah, hey, I get it. Even ghosts would get a craving for some beaver nuggets. But again, what did the Warrens actually do? Well, they documented hauntings, they helped families under alleged demonic oppression, and even worked with priests to perform exorcisms, as we saw with Carolyn, played by Lily Taylor. Now, some of their most famous investigations include, of course, previous episode, the Amityville Horror, the Enfield poltergeist that inspired The Conjuring 2, and of course, the Perron family case that became the original Conjuring movie. Now, once the house was cleansed of demons and was fully exorcised, the parents lived in that farmhouse for 10 years. So nice work, Warrens. Whatever you did, it obviously worked. All this to say, of course, the Warrens were not without their critics. even 50 years ago, haters gotta hate. Critics often say the Warrens exaggerated their stories, while believers call them pioneers of modern paranormal research. Either way, they created a cultural legacy that still gives people goosebumps today. Now, after Ed's passing in 2006, Lorraine continued lecturing and working on cases until her passing in 2019. Their home in Connecticut still exists, but their infamous occult museum filled with haunted artifacts and, of course, Annabelle is now under new ownership who takes a very different approach to protecting and preserving the artifacts the Warrens cared for. Again, they advised not to take Annabelle out of her cabinet, but they did, and disaster followed. So, now for the Conjuring movie, director James Wan worked with Lorraine during production to ensure the film captured her and Ed's work respectfully. And again, whether you believe in ghosts or not, demonic possessions or not, or even the veracity of the Warrens' work or not, there's no denying their influence on horror movies and how they blurred the lines between fiction and reality. So what do you think? Were the Warrens real heroes fighting darkness or just great storytellers? Drop us your thoughts in the comments section and go ahead and give the subscribe button a nice sweep of sage so you never miss a thing. We here at the Real Relationships Podcast have enjoyed bringing you 5 great episodes this October, and we're thankful to be bringing you season 4 beginning in November, beginning with none other than my childhood favorite, Annie. So be sure to subscribe to the Real Relationships Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. And be sure to follow us on YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Until next time, keep your lights on, your dolls locked away, and stay safe.